Fit like a D, Danny Min here, and welcome to another episode of Transport Fever 2 around the world in time. We're on a new map. We are on the south of Newcastle to York map, so Newcastle would be up here somewhere, and then my head down in York would be down here somewhere, because today we are, well, I think Hull and stuff is roughly, it's a little bit further south than York. But today we are going to be adding the Stockton and Darlington Railway, which was opened on 27th of September 1825 was the first occasion in which steam locomotive was used to haul passengers on a public railway. The locomotive concern, Stephenson's Locomotion, still exists and is displayed at Head of Steam, which is situated on the original 1825 Stockton and Darlington route. So that's pretty cool. The original loco for this is still, is it alive and kicking, or is it just a display? I don't know. But it is, you can still see it somewhere. The new railway soon proved to be a great success and substantially reduced the price of coal. From the early years of the Stockton and Darlington Railway, private contractors using horse-drawn coaches on the S&DR lines provided passenger services. After years, the economic potential for carrying passengers was evident, and the company introduced its own steam-hauled passenger service in 1833. Although the S&DR made use of steam locomotives from its opening day, it can also be seen to represent a transitional stage of railway development in which stationary engines and horse-drawn vehicles were also utilised. Although locomotion represents a notable development of the earlier pioneering work of George Stephenson, who I think is roughly or renowned as the father of steam locomotion, steam engines, George Stephenson and others, it's fair to say that the subsequent work of Timothy Hackworth, the first superintendent engineer of the S&DR, proved the supremacy of steam locomotive over other forms of motive power. So it looks like, now if I'm reading this correctly, that it opened in 1825, but that was for hauling coal back and forth by steam locomotive, and it didn't actually run passengers until 1833. Yes, interesting. But I have the map. I have the actual map. The old school, well, this is from 1825. This map, it's super old. It's actually incredibly difficult to read, but it is readable. You can sort of get the gist of it. So we've got, this is Hartlepool up here that I've not yet named. Middlesbrough would be down here. Stockton on the River Tees here. Darlington over this side. Bishop Auckland, because this is where the coal fields actually were. There's actually coal fields here, and then there's a sort of limestone deposits sort of around this area as well, just underneath Bishop Auckland, which is pretty cool, because in the Yeo's Senseless Industries, I do believe you can mine limestone. Yeah, limestone quarry. So you can actually have that as a good type. So that's pretty cool. So yeah, horse-drawn wagons from Stockton to Darlington, but coal was shipped via locomotive down past Bishop Auckland to Darlington and on to Stockton, to the harbour here, where it was taken by ship off into the North Sea, and it headed south. So that's pretty cool. So that's all there. It looks like Durham should be roughly up about here somewhere as well, and I think Durham and Darlington are both stops on the LNER main line today, possibly, maybe, can't remember. It should be more up here, and it should be above Hartlepool, so it should be, Durham should be about up here somewhere, or maybe there. Yeah, maybe there. So we'll get that piped in when the time comes for us to actually use it. We don't need Durham yet. We just need Stockton, Darlington, Bishop Auckland, and the coal fields. So without further ado, let's get going. Now, I think, alright, now we want, this is quite a flat area, which is nice, so I can sort of make a pier area right here. Now, buildings, I want cargo, I want number of tracks. Let's make it 4 again, because 4 was interesting. Length of the tracks, let's 320, that's extreme. 80, nah, let's go 120. 120 is a nice round number. Catenary, absolutely not. And we do want a street connection so that we can actually offload the coal. So we'll have this as our goods section, right? Goods in here. But what I'm going to do is we're going to go to passage, and we're going to build a little, oh, there's a lot of passengers. There's this one, which I think could be kind of cool, but from the photos I've seen, what's this? The UK generic passenger halt. That sounds good. But I kind of want an old, excuse me, oldie but goldie. Now, if I go and look, it looks like there's no actual passenger building. It's just a platform. There's no roofs or anything overhead. There are sort of like lamps and lanterns, so maybe going with this is a good sort of shout. Now it looks like there's, in the photos you can only really see one side of the platform, so that's kind of a nuisance, but hey ho. Yeah, so what I want, how many platforms? So you can only have one platform, which is, well, it's kind of meh, but it's okay. Right, so I kind of want that. Spin this one round, right? Because I want one at this side. I'm going to place you there. We are going to place a bit of track, 20 miles per hour. Yeah, 20 miles per hour is fine. Go with the sort of older stuff. Right, so are you on the same level? You kind of are, which is nice. I mean, I'm assuming that there's something that sort of goes past here. And I might have like an engine shed or something, have it go sort of through the town, maybe have like an engine shed or something up here. Yeah, it could be kind of cool. Let's grab you down to there, yep, and grab that across to there, yep. Let's grab another one of these stations, right? So buildings, no, that's road buildings, so it's not going to be helpful at all. Can I make this older? Oh no, don't snap to anything. I want you to be on the same level as the rest of the track, but I do not want you to snap to anything. Right, let's just make sure it is on the same level. It should be. This looks slightly higher. In fact, is it? It's about the same. We're good. Alright, so this, there we go, little signs there, Stockton. There is in one of the photos, you can actually see there's a guy standing on the platform, and just behind him is a Stockton, a huge sign that's got Stockton written on it. Again, no passenger buildings, but we can add them in later on. Maybe it was just sort of simple like this to begin with. Can I configure these? That is the thing. Overpass, King's Cross stuff, yes. Platforms, yep, miscellaneous. I kind of want stairs up to here. How does the stairs look? Right, they're floating in mid-air. So that is kind of weird. Now I might still be able to salvage this, right? So assets. Alright, go to it. Station assets. Station asset platforms. I mean, we've got this, but it might be kind of new age. Why have I just got an exclamation mark there? What happens if I click this? Oh, that's cool. But no. Right, so I want this. You know what we could do? what we could do is, I don't want to delete, I want to configure, please. I think I've got a way of doing this. Entrance for ground station 0. Okay, right. Maybe try them. Oh, that's an entrance for a ground station. So this, if this was on the ground, this would just be a station. 0 meter entrance. Nah, you're still too far away. That's sad. But hold on, all is not lost. Right, so configure. Platforms, right? I think if I add a standard platform, maybe a narrow one. No, you again, you do not snap to that. So it gives us a sort of weird gap. Okay. Remove that. Remove that. Right, that other one is a completely different thing. Passenger ground station. That's nice. That is nice, because we'll probably have some of them at some point. Right, passenger platform. Are you old though? Yeah, you look kind of old. And it's still got the good old Stockton. No, it doesn't. Doesn't have Stockton written on it. Or does it? Yes, it does. That's fine. So we'll swap this one out with that one. And remember that these are for narrow stuff. Okay, right, go with the oldie, bit goldy platform. Because we know this works. So one there, and one there. There you go. There's your... Well, the actual moment of truth will be, can I get actual stairs into here? What's this? Ah, that was stairs for the narrow platform. Okay, now we know. Now we know. Configure. Yep, one there, one there. Obviously, I'll be deleting all this and sort of rebuilding it, so that's going to be sort of A-OK. And then we continue on, right? Yes. Okay, so let's get the rails back on. And then we want to go sort of down this way. And follow the river, right? To about here. And then we want this to sort of curve round. And then we want that. So that is going up. That is fine, because I do want it to go up. And then I want it to curve round here. It's a bit strange. Can you just go flat? It can go flat. Remove that, yes please. So I want this to go flat along here. I want this to go there. There you go, that's better. And then we'll get our second passenger station in at this side. So it's roughly going to go in here. Now, I need to find a photo of the Darlington train station from 1825, please, and thank you. Images. That's cool. That's Stockton again. Stockton again. Where's the Darlington station? See, that's the problem. I do not know what the Darlington station kinda looks like. There's the Darlington Railway Museum disused station, Stockton St John's Crossing. That looks pretty cool. Locomotion number 1. Yep, that's the train we need. I should have looked at this before, but I couldn't find anything before, and I still can't find anything now. That's a shame. I mean, there's lots of new stuff. Yeah, Darlington Station looks a hell of a lot different nowadays. There is a new station for it. So what are we going to do for this? I don't know. Maybe. Right, we've got the standard station down here. We need to bring that down and then sort of bring it in, which is going to be interesting and fun. I want this to come around here. I want that. To come around to there. Please, please, game. There we go. That's nice. And I want this. Hello. To come around to there. And there's our. There is our trackage. Right, so we can at least build this up, and then we're going to figure out what it is we need to do. We could give it a little house or something. I might make it like a ground station. Yeah, make it a ground station with no platform. Just to begin with, obviously later on it will have the platforms. So grab me that. Number of tracks 2. In fact, number of tracks 4, right? Length of tracks 120. Yeah, I could go and have it go this way. Right, now I can configure that, and I can place buildings and sort of make it look nice and pretty. Right, so I want one there. Yep. So we spin round the back of Darlington. That can go there. I mean, Darlington is here, but I can build up around this station. That's not an issue. And then we want to head up to Bishop Auckland. Did Bishop Auckland have a station? I think we could put one in. I mean, why the hell not? We sort of want to go around this way. I mean, what we could do is make the Bishop Auckland station. Yeah. Because what I want is in this valley, right? Buildings, freight. Give me that. In this valley, I want this to be a sort of 4. Length of tracks. You know what? We're gonna ramp this up. We're gonna make this long. Doesn't need to be long. But that's that there. Yeah, and we're gonna load up stuff over here. Okay. That's pretty decent. So I want you to go around that way. You to go around that way. We are going to bring this round. So this is a lot more area to work on, so it's going to take me longer to do the detailing. But I'm sort of doing this at night because tomorrow I'm going to have a full day of just getting everything sort of blasted together. Yeah, so what you want to do now, right, is we are going to delete that. Yes, sir. And then you want to get buildings that... What do I want to go with? Large passenger station. How large? I mean, this could be nice. 120. I quite like the look of this. Give it tracks 4. Right, I could place this and then configure it, right? So would have, yeah, okay, right. So I want at least remove that, remove that, remove that, remove that. Place, whoa, 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 whoa. Place the station sort of in there. Alright, the angle of that might be slightly off. We're going to configure this so it looks the part. Configure. One, yeah, I want you to go. I want you to go as well. You also. Goodbye. So really, what I should have did have just added a one platform and then just left it right. High speed tracks. Right, there's a lot of Magumba here. Narrow gauge tracks. No. Where's just like my standard stuff? Narrow gauge, that. Standard tracks. Is this standard old track? I have no idea. It will do. It will do for the moment. Platforms. I believe I want. Yeah, you're just a standard. We will mix it up and do other ones. So that's goods. Yeah, that's too new. I want this. Yep, I want that. I want the bull dozer. I only want one bit covering that. And what I'm going to get is path across here and areas for them to walk across. Okay, tracks, platforms. Are the roofs under miscellaneous? That seems to be a negatory. Ah, there we go. I want one of them right there. We've got the benches and stuff, so that's quite nice. There is an underpass there. Would there have been underpasses? Probably not, but I think if we just get an underpass in, and I'll still add in the sort of bits so they can get across. Right, remove that, remove that, remove that. Tracks, yes please. Have you swoop around there nicely. And have you swooping around there nicely. Okay. Have that go there, but have that go in there. How does that look? Yeah, it looks good. Happy with that. We'll do the same at that side. Right, now Bishop Auckland. We will put a station up here, but we'll make this one, right? We shall make this one the ground station. So buildings, ground station. You know what? I'm going to give it a number of tracks 2. We're going to make it. Yeah, keep 120. That's 3 tracks. Hello, game. Please, please. There maybe about there. Yeah, we don't want the angle that this comes in to be mega sharp. Is 20 mile per hour fast enough? I will have to check the speed of the locos. Okay, we've got area here. I might have to flatten this area out in order to get it to comply. I mean, you could probably get a passenger station in somewhere as well and have workers be delivered. Yeah, I might get one at that side. Or they could just be delivered here. Yeah. Okay, right. So that is your route. There we go. We all the way down here. We to there. So obviously, I think this is definitely by far the longest one I've done. By the time I've got all the farms and trees, built up the dockyards, built up Stockton, built up Darlington, messed about with sort of Bishop Auckland, and then built up the mining area. That is going to take some time, but it will seem like a mere instant for you guys. So we'll pop back once I've built everything. So here we are, back again. Nearly a day for me. About 13, 14 hours of building stuff and deleting stuff and just being too OCD and sort of nitpicking. But yeah, this one took a while. This is by far the biggest line I've done yet. So starting off with Stockton, as you can see the lines are here, as we made them previously up to Darlington, up to Bishop Auckland and into the coal fields over here. But yeah, we've got Stockton here, we've got the Stockton docks, we've got a few ship assets. The train comes in here and unloads coal. I was going to set up a ship to sort of go round the river, then head out to sea, but I don't know exactly where I would send it, so I didn't bother. I just left it. I've left this bit open for expansion later. I'm assuming at some point the train maybe might have headed off to Middlesbrough, but I don't know. It doesn't say anything about Middlesbrough in the Wikipedia for the S&DR, the Stockton and Darlington Railway. So there is one thing I need to do, however, that's been upsetting me greatly. I don't know why it does this, but in every single time you place track, it places like a forest of greenery in the middle of the tracks, like they're super overgrown. And that wouldn't really happen because, you know, trains are using this. Maybe if it was an older line, an older sort of siding line that had just been left untouched. Alright, there we go, the OCD has been dealt with. But yeah, Stockton docks here. A place that these are actual harbours, so these actually work. They're not just the placeable harbour asset, because they look the part, they look good. We've got some buildings in here. Now we've got the passenger train station as well, which is up and running. There are a couple horse wagons on here because the steam locos for passenger trains weren't used until 1833, and this is only 1825, I do believe. I've maybe forgot. It's been so long since I recorded the first half of this episode. But our coal train definitely ran a steam loco. There's the other one there, heading in. So these are like third class wagons, and these are the S&DR first class wagons. They're part of Steve M4's 1820 set. Now the yellow ones here are the only ones that you can place as placeable assets. Unfortunately, they're from the London and Manchester Railway, which I think we're going to be heading for next. I think both of these are, the third class and the first class. But I thought it'd be cool to sort of have them there in a little siding. So yeah, the passengers do work. As I was saying before, if I click out and click on Stockton, I've actually left residents in here and in Darlington. There's no workplaces, unfortunately, but I think I can fix that later, maybe. Yeah, so these towns are gonna work, or should work. Now, instead of placing a town and deleting all the buildings around it so I can sort of keep the town name above it, I actually left some buildings in here because buildings add, well, that's one of my S&DR intercity buses. So there's an intercity bus route that goes from Stockton, Darlington to Bishop Auckland. There's also a commuter route in town. You can see the little bus stops there. There's one at this side as well. Keep going. Yep. What was I saying? I can't remember. Now, I set this piece of road here to be my own, and it seems to be... There is a new tool, right? So if we click on this, right, and we go to roads, now the new tool is marvellous, but doesn't actually seem to work. So all this I reclaimed as mine. And just by clicking this, it gives you player ownership. Now all this as well, I reclaimed as mine, because I do not want this to change. I like the way this one has stayed true. I don't know why. This should all be, yep, as well. That as well. Yep, that. That doesn't want it. I don't want that to change. I don't want that to change. Or that. Or that. Or this really. Or that. 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 I'm not going to do all of this. See? Yeah, see, sometimes you click it and it doesn't actually work. Right. That will be fine for the moment. Yeah, so these towns, I wanted them to grow instead of deleting everything and placing everything hand-built, because it does give you a little bit of AI traffic. There you go, there's Luke Clark and Joseph Patel and their little wagons heading off, moving between the cities. So it makes these country roads look a bit more lively, a bit more used, which I think is pretty cool. This is all farms here. As you can see, I decorated like both sides of the track here. I wasn't sure what to do over here. I got to that inevitable stage again where I was building so much stuff that I eventually realized that at some point we're going to have to demolish most of this. The S&DR route does run through Darlington, and it would run sort of north to south. The station's not really in the greatest place for that. So a lot of the cities that were built, or towns are built this time, sort of become unrecognizable from what they did then to what they do now. So most of this is going to have to be deleted. So I had to stop myself from building too much. If you build too much, it's just severe extra work for you to delete things later on in the future. I did actually watch the other day, Badger Hacks did a very, very cool episode. He is going to be building Manchester City, and he's got this really neat tool where he's got an old school map image ripped from Google or somewhere, I'm not sure where it came from, and it shows you the street layout of Manchester. I think it's 1910, and he's actually made chopped it up into a puzzle piece and made it into placeable assets, and you can place it. Then it gives you all the streets and the rail layout and where the buildings would have been. It's really, I was actually blown away when I watched it. I was like, that is probably the coolest thing I've ever seen. For recreating towns and cities, something like that would be absolutely invaluable. So I recommend that you go and check that out, Badger Hacks. He does a lot of building up the sort of Manchester area, and a lot of his detailing and videos are pretty cool. So I'll give you should go and check that out, because it was pretty phenomenal what he'd actually made. So yeah, some of the buildings are growing, some of them, all these are right. So like this one here that is built into the side of this hotel is not one of mine. Now this tree here, these trees that are growing, so this is a problem, because these buildings here, right, the old medieval ones, most of these here that I've placed are with collision on. As you can see, look, there's a little house just hiding in there, shouldn't be there. So it looks like my adding a box didn't work either. That's great, fantastic. Yeah, so all of these buildings, most of them, probably 90% of them, have collision on. Now when you've got collision on, it should stop AI buildings from growing inside other buildings, but as you've just seen there, it doesn't. They're still building inside buildings. I had a building coming out of this thing with trees everywhere, and another one out here. Look, as you can see, there's a building in there. There you go, it's gone. And this is with no collision. So there is a mod as well that lets you place like a barrier, like a path, next to the roads, and it stops buildings from building where you don't want them to. Unfortunately for me, It looks like they're building behind where I've placed the barriers. I can't seem to click in any of them, but they are there. Maybe if I pull the bulldozer out. So that's a real problem. I had lots of buildings that were building down here and basically covering all these assets. Look, there's 2, 3 residential buildings in there. So one there and one there. There's another one there and another one there. Now in order to combat this, because I was greatly confused, I started placing these boxes around. Again with collision on. So nothing, no sort of viable asset or AI building should be able to build because it would collide with the box. Now they're absolutely everywhere and they're scattered and hidden. Some of them are hidden near the buildings because you can't place a asset with collision on inside another asset that also has collision on. But again, it doesn't seem to have worked, and that's mainly the reason why I've been demolishing entire towns and just rebuilding them on my own. Because if people remain in a town, the town will grow as soon as you give it passenger demand, add another road that leads to another town, and yeah, it's kind of a nightmare. So I don't know what I'm going to do. I might just have to fish out which buildings are left from the original city build for when I place the town and maybe delete it. But it's a problem. It's a real problem. So we've got a little church here as well. Over here, the tracks head out. They meet up with the train tracks from the industrial area. I didn't know what to sort of put under the bridge, so I just added little assets and a little cargo drop-off sort of area there as well. We've got some farms up here. Again, didn't want to build too much over this side, and I wasn't sure exactly whether just to add more farms or sort of leave it. This is an actual working farm. This is Darlington Flax farm from the Yeo's Senseless Industries mod. On this map, it's only a handful of separate industries because they work completely on their own. They don't interfere with anything. Yeah, they're fantastic. The standalone industries work with any industry mod pack. They don't get overwritten or sort of copy and pasted for anything else. Right, so pretty sure I just changed this, or maybe it was a different one. Streets, yeah, do that. Player ownership, yes please. Now I don't mind if Darlington sort of grows over this way and grows in here, not at all. That would be fantastic. I just don't want it to grow where I don't want it to be, and I don't like the fact that even though I've set most of these roads for me, that often when I check them they are not set. I'm just going to actually check these roads because these should all be mine, because that's one of the last things I did to sort of finish up for wrapping up this map or this area, because we'll be coming back to this map, was making sure, yeah, see, they're all still mine. Maybe it happens when I reload a saved game, or reload save games, I don't know. Yeah, why are you... Yeah, this is all mine. This is all road that I built. Please stop changing stuff. Game, yeah, all this street. I mean, this is definitely mine, and this round the outskirts. I left the middle on its own, so maybe that's the reason. Maybe leaving the middle is a bad thing, possibly. I don't know. But yeah, right, let's go back. Let's just fix that. Yeah, because that should be the start. We're going out into the countryside there. So yeah, Darlington, not much going on here. There's no freight station. As I said, this is here, the Darlington Flax farm. There's another farm up here as well, which is just a standard rural farm from the Yeo's Senseless Industry mod. The reason we're just building them. We will use them at some point, we're just not using them yet. Anyone who's played Transport Fever before, or anyone who watches Transport Fever and has watched a YouTuber or themselves played from 1850, knows that horse and cart are dead slow. Really slow. Early game in Transport Fever is dead slow. The trains are really the only real entertainment that you get. They're definitely the fastest for the time period. Some of the ships and boats and stuff are pretty cool, but my god, the wagons are really slow. Anyone who's doing a standard playthrough with money on will know this. It just drags on and on and on before you get enough money to actually build stuff. And one of the things I've said that was a problem until they added the ability to freeze time, which was amazing. So you could have like January of 1850 for like as long as you wanted, giving you enough time to build up stuff and have money to buy trains was great. But before then, a lot of steam trains and vehicles would come and go before you even made enough money to buy them and put them on a route. So it's really good that they added that. But yeah, standard gameplay in 1850 is dead slow. I was watching, I noticed the other day, Squirrel did a video. He's starting a Transport Fever 2 playthrough, and then he started, I think it was in 1900 or something, and then he went to the vehicle depot to buy a vehicle. So there's one here, and it came up, and all there was the horse and carts and the Cannstatt. And I was like, oh dear God. And he made up a route, and when you're zoomed out, this doesn't look too far. But this for a horse and cart, or even a Cannstatt, or the early steam lorry, is killer. It takes literally ages for them to get there. So yeah, you definitely need to do some cutting and editing because it is extremely slow gameplay to start off with. But here we are at Bishop Auckland again. No freight station at Bishop Auckland. This passenger station here is actually on the ground. And I think it's great because not every train station had platforms and stuff. Some of them were just built on the ground. You had to sort of jump up onto the train. And I think this looks really cool. I've got like a sort of little market out here. Yeah, see this. These two have built here, and they've built these trees in the middle of our glorious marketplace. Although that last tree looked pretty cool. So I have here, in here, I can't find it. Why is it not there? I'm just going to keep clicking. I maybe have deleted it by accident. But yeah, in here there's like an invisible line that I've placed that should stop things from building onto the street here. But it hasn't worked. This work used to... this as well. See this? This is a palm tree. And I have selected only temperate trees. But some of the buildings spawn with palm trees in them, which is super annoying. But yeah, there is Bishop Auckland. We've got a little bar in here as well. The Railway Tavern. It's pretty cool. Again, it's got a commuter route. It also has a commuter route that goes to the mines. Here's our standard rural farm, which is pretty cool. I've got it set up to accept trucks and stuff at some point. Just not yet. We've got here is our mining area. So this is just a standard coal mine. Over here is just a standard coal mine. I've built up this area for like sort of storage of coal. We've got some spare wagons. These are the S&DR, the Stockton and Darlington colliery wagons. There's some in here as well. See, this is nice with the AI sort of driving along. We've got this area here. We've got this cool crane, which is not actually supposed to be used like this. It comes as part of a set pack, but I thought it was pretty cool. And this as well with these things. The coal chutes. We've got a standard locomotive sitting here next to a sort of platform so that guys can do maintenance on them. We've got another sort of like random freight train sided up here. And we've got this as well, which has got a mix of passenger and coal wagons, because that is something that they did. So they had mixed passenger and freight so that you could haul your freight, and on the way back to the coal mine, or when leaving the coal mine, you could take the workers home or bring them to the coal mines to work. So yeah, it's pretty cool. And we've got this here, it's just a standard coal mine as well. Now these don't actually work, they're out of range of the train station, which is right here. But I have placed a freestyle industry somewhere There it is, right there. Bishop Auckland Freestyle Industry 1. So that works. Bishop Auckland Cargo. That supplies the train, or will supply the train with coal, and then it should head down here. There's a little pond in here, using the sort of water assets as well. I think that looks pretty cool, and I made this a sort of flooded field for the moment. And then it's going to come down. It's obviously going to bypass this, but the passenger trains will actually go through here. They'll branch off and go up here, and our coal trains will come down here and unload stuff and then head back. Awesome. I do love the dockyard. I think this anchor and these IBCs are a bit weird. It's like one side has got like the sort of newer assets from today, and then the other side has got like older stuff like wooden carts and stuff. I've never seen this as an asset, but it's pretty cool. Right, so let's go and buy the train. So we want the locomotive. That was what the train was named. I suppose we could take it from any depot. I do have the line set up, so it's going out. I just want to check and make sure it's not doing anything untoward. It should all be signalled. Yeah, so the passenger trains are darker red and they head off to the side, and this one heads down the middle and it joins back up. There we go, darker trains heading off to the passenger station and lighter ones coming in here. Okay, so we are literally good to go. Buy vehicles, yes please. So we want the UK 1820s locomotives, and we want the S&DR Locomotion 040. Top speed of 20 miles per hour. The tracks are limited to 20 mile per hour speed. Some areas near the stations and go through junctions, the track speed comes down to 10, 5 miles per hour, etc. But this one from 1825 is the first, and then it's the Wilberforce. I believe the Wilberforce was used in the S&DR. Return fluid, which required firing from the front and driving from behind. I'm not sure about the Coronation, I'll have to look it up. There's actually a few steam engines called the Coronation, so that's going to be interesting. But I think definitely the Wilberforce was a Stockton and Darlington loco. Rainhill Trials. This as well ran on the Rainhill Trials, and I think it got moved somewhere else. This is 1829, so 1830, the novelties. So we'll be getting into our Rainhill Trials. Will probably be the next episode, so that's going to be kind of cool. But we can buy this, the Locomotion. We can go down Stourbridge Lion. Right, so we want the 1820s wagon set. So you've got the LNMR first class, the LNMR third class. As I was saying, they're yellow and blue. But when it comes to placing assets, you only get these two. There's not a Stockton and Darlington railway carriage, unfortunately. And there's the London and Midland Railway all-purpose wagon, which is pretty cool. So we've got the Stockton and Darlington colliery wagon. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Wow, 4 brings it down to mediocre. How much till it goes to poor? It never goes to poor. So give it a capacity of 90, 20 miles per hour. Why the hell not? Right, buy it. Right, I want to rename this as the Locomotion. Do the locomotive. Right, copyright strike. Okay. Freight train, Bishop Coalfield to Stockton Docks. And away we go. Push play, prepare for the lag. It always gets super laggy whenever I push play. And then it sort of irons itself out and it works just fine. But here's our train. I think a few of these were built. I think there was the Locomotion, but I think they built a few more afterwards. So there it is in its cloud of steam and smoke and soot. There it goes though. There's the Stockton and Darlington wagons. Pretty cool. Right, I have released you on the wrong track. And you're going to clip through here. That doesn't matter though. Let's speed it up a touch because this is set for like 5 miles per hour. Yeah, That's unfortunate, but it doesn't come in this line. Yeah, it comes in the far line. The far line is fine. It looks like our train. I was going to say it looks like it's gone AWOL, but it hasn't. It's just not stopping at the coalfields first. It is just continuing on. So I think this is a slow section of track until it gets past the signal house out here, and then I think yeah, there it goes. She's increasing speed, or will be increasing speed shortly. Now this could be disastrous because there is a large hill, and the way up from Stockton back to here, it needs to climb the hill between Stockton and Darlington. And we'll have to see how this gets on. There's so much steam here. You can barely see the wagons, barely see the engine. But again, it's very cool. There we go, there's our farms. There's our stuff at the other side. Oh, this is just trees until we get to this farm. And there's a farm. Just a farmhouse. Yeah. No cows or sheep or livestock in this map. Not yet. There will be, obviously. Okay, she's picking up speed. So I think, yeah, we're waiting for the train to pass there before it got up to 20. But 20 miles per hour ain't fast. Not by a long shot. So this might take a while, because this is the longest route we've done thus far. The Puffing Billy route wasn't very long. The Catch Me Who Can route is the shortest route I've ever made in a game of Transport Fever 2. The Coalbrookdale was not very long, but the loco was somewhat slower, so it did take a while. And what was the second one? Ooh, I forgot. The Catch Me Who Can, the Coalbrookdale, and the Pennydarren. I suppose the Pennydarren one was quite long as well. I'm looking forward to revisiting that map and building out some more of it. So here we go, heading round to Bishop Auckland, which is nice. I do see a few horse and carts in the background. Is this train going the right way? It is. See, the signal goes up. Yay. Into here, I don't know if there's anyone waiting. There's 112. But the people are somewhat invisible, so I may have to place my own sort of people assets here. Anyway, this train is not stopping here. It's just cruising through. There we go. See, Bishop Auckland has its industrial buildings in the background because I left them in. That's nice. There's a Greg's. Whoa, Greg's, established in 1825. Actually, I have no idea. When was Greg's established? Greg's the Bakers, for me, has always been a sort of recent, sort of late 2000s. It was something I'd never heard of, and then all of a sudden they were just absolutely everywhere. Here we go though, past the farms, past this area, the little lake, or the little pond is coming up. There's a few vehicles on the road, some of them are mine, some of them are the AI's. There's a fox. I don't know if you guys can see the fox, but I can see the fox. Past this area, past the fields of whatever the hell that is in there, wheat, barley, oilseed rape, I have no idea. But this over at this side is mostly just sort of wilderness, and there is a road that heads round the other side of it. Whether anybody uses it, I don't particularly know. But this is nice. Coming down here, nice little leisurely stroll in the Locomotion. A really neat thing about this mod is as well, when you change the name of the train, it prints it on the side. So there you go, Locomotion. That I thought was very neat. There we go, there's the little pond. No one there. Does no one partake in fishing? In 1825, there's the flooded field. Again, we've got a horse and cart. Yeah, you've got one of 4. So you're doing 11 miles per hour. But our state-of-the-art train here is doing 20. What a time to be alive. But there we go. Here's another field. I tried my best to get like these tracks made in this field. It was kind of annoying, actually. I know that the center line of the tracks is way too thick for sort of anything. Here we go. There's a passenger train rolling round. My God, there's so much steam here. There we go. That's slightly better. I think perhaps the smoke reduction mod might be in order here. It's a mod that I've used in every single playthrough, but it's one that I forgot to add into this. So we will have to. Now, there's not so much steam now. Was it slowing down? Because a really neat thing about Transport Fever 2 is trains that are heading at full steam or top speed or sort of at cruising speed, maybe if the track speed limit is 60 miles per hour and the loco is a top speed of 90, when it's cruising at 60 and it's not accelerating, you don't get sort of steam or smoke or the sort of diesel reek, the diesel reek that you get from the sort of diesels that we have nowadays, because it's not accelerating. The engine is not under sort of heavy load, so that's pretty cool. I just want to check now. This has like moments of it's either visible and then sometimes it's not visible. A few people walking around. There's the other horse and cart. Now our horse tramway trains have been surpassed now because their top speed is 12 miles per hour, whereas our steam locomotives are now up to 20 and beyond probably from now on. So that's really cool. That's why before I started this episode I had to make sure that this one and the other one we passed earlier had quite a decent run up. I've got like a little coal bunker in here and some sort of shacks. I thought it'd be kind of nice just as a sort of place where the train might have to sort of restock up on coal and stuff. I mean, obviously later trains used, there was lots of coal bunkers everywhere and there were water towers. I don't know how they would have filled the trains back there. I mean, they probably would not have built water towers. Building a water tower for something that's unproven at the time is not really a financially great idea. You could build water towers all along your lines and then the train could have been a bust and that would have been just a waste of money. But I've got some water towers up here and there. Obviously they do come into play later on because the steam trains, the sort of great Adonis steam trains of the late steam train era, did use a hell of a lot of water and coal. So many times in a journey they would have to take on board new coal and more water because they just went through so much. Got a little farm out here, as there's nothing at this side, as we know. I don't know if another town is sort of over here, if I'm going to have to build something, so I've just left it for the moment. But this train should split off. Yes, nice. And the passengers go down that way, and we go under the bridge. The bridge, which was a complete nightmare to build. Now, when you build bridges now, you get the invisible bridge, and then you can select from the menu which type of bridge you want it to be. The problem is, lots of bridges hate railways that come in at an angle like this. See, this is almost like a 45-degree angle. They like trains to come straight through. So there, even though you've got literally, I would say there's more than 100 bridges you could choose from. when building road or rail bridges. But I would say only about maybe 10 of them have the ability to for you to like how to place your own pillars and things. Most of them don't like railway come at an angle, and you get plagued with the good old bridge pillar collision, which is a disaster, really. Right, so as we can see here, another building has built itself firmly into there. I might leave it because it's just going to come back. But it looks like places where I've placed these boxes, there are no buildings. Ah, that could be a thing. But here we are at the Stockton and Darlington port. Again, there's a few. There's a Dinara Castle here, and there's a Zero Osta, which might be possibly too new for the era. But yeah, I like them. But yeah, we'll leave it there for that episode. So that is the Stockton and Darlington Railway. I was going to release a second train. I will. In fact, let's go and release the second train right now before I end the episode, because I'm going to do a drive-by episode for this as well. Now, which way did it come out? Yeah, I kind of need you to come out of this depot here. Right, so steam, yes please. We want the... I mean, what top speed did Puffin Billy have? 15 miles per hour. 19. Cool. Cool. But we want this, yeah, we want the S&DR locomotive from 1825. Oh, in 1828 the boiler exploded. Oof. And when it was rebuilt, it was given some new wheels courtesy of Timothy Hackworth. Ah. It was initially called Active and was soon renamed Locomotion in 1828. Cool. Very cool. We're going to add another one though. So, yep, that there. I want cargo. Wylam Colliery. No. 1820s coaches. Stockton and Darlington. Yes, please. Why is there only 2 variants in here? Because you need to go to all to get them all. Which is obviously very strange, but hey ho. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I think it had a capacity of 95 or something. Yeah, let's go with 90. Buy that. Set you on the line. Whoa, set you on the line as well. And off you go. So there you have it. We shall leave it there for that episode. As always, if you did watch this and you would like to leave a like, comment or dislike, please feel free to do so. And if there is more you would like to see in the future, then hit the subscribe button. I've been Danny Man. This has been Transport Fever 2 around the world in time, and I will catch you later.